Eat what you can afford. Let's talk about that just a little bit more today. Hello everyone, Semi-Retired Bob here. I talk about the Carnivore Diet, all things related to the Carnivore Diet, and miscellaneous odds and ends. Today we're talking about eat what you can afford. First off, if you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for stopping by. What you're watching is you're watching me walk. This is the January No Excuses Walking Challenge. So I've been out here walking every day. That doesn't seem super exciting until you realize that 20 months ago, I couldn't do this. I could barely stand for 2 to 2.5 minutes without severe pain. Now I'm out here walking every day. So help me get the word out that it's never too late to change your life. I'm 60 years old, and now I'm doing things that I couldn't do when I was 40. I have to pause and get off the street here for just a moment. What's with all the traffic? Here comes another car. Hopefully they see my bright orange coat. Yes, they did. They moved out to the center of the street. But here I am walking every day. Help me get the word out that it's never too late to change your life. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Drop down in the comments and say, "Hi, Bob." Consider subscribing if you haven't yet. All these little things that are absolutely free help get the word out that it's never too late to change your life. If you're returning to the channel, welcome back. I'm glad you're here. It means an awful lot to me that you choose to spend just a few moments of your day with me. But let's get on into this topic today. Eat what you can afford. Many of you have heard me talk about this before, but I'm going to go over it again real quick and then get to the point that I really wanted to make on this. Because there's been so much recent talk on many of the carnivore channels about, grass-fed, grass-finished beef is the way to go. And don't get me wrong. If you can afford to eat like that every day, that's fantastic. It is the very best food. There's no question about that. But depending on what analysis you're looking at, the difference between grass-finished and grain-finished, because make no mistake about it, all cows live on pasture for the first portion of their life. And then the grain-finished go to feedlots to get fattened up just before they're harvested for sale. So a big portion of every cow's life is spent on grass. But again, depending on which analysis you look at, the nutrient difference is somewhere between 9 and 11 or 12%, which is a lot. But the difference in cost can be, 3 to 5 times more expensive for just the ground beef. And then if you're going on up into steaks and stuff, it can be 10 times as much for, say, bone-in ribeye of grain finished is running about $23 a pound here. And the same thing in grass finished is running anywhere from, $45 to $60 a pound. That's a lot of money for those, those great big tomahawk steaks. They are delicious, but, and as I said, if you can afford to eat like that, if you're Dr. Baker or Dr. Chafee, and you have the means to eat like that every day, by all means, go ahead. I'm not saying that's bad. But the concept I took from Dr. Chafee on all this is the gold medal food, silver medal food, bronze medal food. with the grass finished being the gold medal food. It is better than everything. But grain finished beef is still the silver medal food. Is it as good as the grass finished? No. But it's still pretty darn good. Let's go down this way just a little bit today. It's pretty darn good, and it is the silver medal food. It's better than everything else. And then below that is the bronze medal food. Hot dogs, bologna, Spam, lunch meat from the deli counter, all that kind of stuff. Vienna sausages, potted meat. Are they as good as the silver medal food or the gold medal food? No, they're not. But they are still better than everything else. So don't stress about it. Eat what you can afford is the big takeaway from all this. You don't have to eat grass-fed, grass-finished, panda-massaged, bone-in ribeyes every day for your food to see gains from this. And that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. The seeing gains from this on bronze medal food. For anyone that's been following my channel for a while, you know that for the last several months I've been doing just ground beef and eggs. And then prior to that, before I started, trying to get into money saving mode, I was doing a lot of roasts and stew meat. But I decided those were a little bit more expensive. But if you go all the way back on this channel, you will discover that in the early days, I was eating hot dogs and Spam and bologna and deli counter lunch meat and pepperoni and salami and Swiss cheese slices from the deli. Pretty much any of that kind of stuff I could get my hands on. And how bad did it go doing that kind of food? Well, I lost my first 85 pounds and started getting the desire to go out and do a little walking, eating that kind of food. So, don't let anybody tell you that you cannot make gains unless you clean up your diet. It's just not true. Yes, you have to clean up your diet from all the processed food and the seed oils and the sugars and all that kind of stuff. Don't let them tell you that whole grains are healthier than other stuff, because they're not. Whole grains, whether you're buying whole grain bread, and it can be whole grain bread from the Himalayan mountains, massaged and kneaded by monks, and it's still going to convert to the exact same glucose that your, dollar a loaf white bread from the grocery store is going to convert to. So, don't be fooled by that kind of stuff. But you can make gains. And now I've come to the end of this sidewalk, because as you can see, that's not cleared. I was going to try and go around the block today, but now we'll go back up this long hill that I usually finish with. So I got about halfway around the block, so this should be a fairly decent walk today. I know it looks very nice and bright out. You guys are going to be seeing this video. I think this is Tuesday's video. Today is actually Saturday, the last day of the really, really cold. It's 3 or 4 degrees out right now. And it's actually supposed to get up to 5 or 6 before it starts to dip back down. And then, actually about midnight, the warming front's supposed to move through. And the temperature's supposed to start rising overnight. And it could be as high as 10 or 15 degrees tomorrow morning when I get up. That's going to be amazing. But yeah, don't let them tell you that, you know, not processed foods, but the cheap meats, the bronze medal food, don't let them tell you that's bad for you. Is it as good for you as the gold and silver medal food? No, it's not. I'm not saying that. But if hot dogs and bologna and Spam and potted meat and Vienna sausages are what you can afford, then by all means go right ahead, because you're going to see really good gains on that as well. I'll have some more thoughts when we get back to the house. Let me see out here in the sun if I can get this camera to flip around. Good grief, I can't see a thing. Let me go down this way, see if I can't get into the shade for just a moment. That sun is so bright, reflecting off of everything, that I can't see. Okay, I think I've got it. No, I do not. Let's try this again. There we go. Wow. Okay. Now I'll see you when we get back to the house. For now, let's cue the music. Okay, cut the music. Thank you. So here we are back at the house. I don't know how far that was. I'll put the total in right about here. It might have been close to a mile. I don't know exactly. It gets hard to keep track when you're out here in this kind of cold weather. But yeah, remember, gold medal food, the grass-finished beef, is absolutely the best. But if grain-finished is all you can afford, it's still better than everything other than the grass-finished. And if lunch meats and cheeses and pepperonis and salamis and Spam and all that kind of stuff from the deli counter, potted meat, Vienna sausages, although the price on those have gone up enough recently that those are probably not as economical as the ground beef I've been doing. Or cheap, I would even consider the cheap ground beef that I'm eating maybe somewhere between the bronze medal food and the silver medal food. But eat what you can afford. Anything is better than a standard American diet loaded up with all those carbs. So hopefully tomorrow's video, it'll be warmer and I can take off some of these layers. That's what I've got for you today, folks. Don't forget, get out there, be 1% better. Today, tomorrow, every day. Have a great day, folks. I'll see you in the next one.